questions at the end. The one thing I want to remind you, we just got done doing the p's, q's, and possible zeros, right? If we need to factor a polynomial, we can use that to get us going. But here's the thing. Is that necessary if it's something we could have already factored, like as a trinomial or with grouping or something like that? No, p's and q's should not be your first option. Don't forget, we already have a lot of factoring tools. So if any of those things work, you can still use them. Let's take a look at this polynomial. X cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals 0. If I asked you to find when this was equal to 0, this is one that I could solve by factoring. What would we have to do? Grouping. The negative 4x, remember we don't put a parenthesis after a minus, so we do plus. And then in my parentheses, negative 4x minus 12. First parenthesis, we could take out x squared, and that leaves us with x plus 3. Second parenthesis, we can take out negative 4, and that leaves us with x plus 3. So now two terms, what do they both have? Factor that out. How do you solve, or how do you factor x squared plus 4?
X plus 2 and x minus 2.
Okay, so what are my solutions?
Positive 2 and negative 2 and then negative 3.
Just the numbers and make it equal 0. All right, so this was next to the third. We found our zeros. Could I have also done p's, q's, and possible zeros? Absolutely. And that would also get you there. Okay, if I wanted you to graph it, what was my degree on this? So what's the end behavior? Okay, we already have the zeros. We just found them on part A. Would I go through or bounce at those? Remember, it's based off the multiplicity. All of these have a multiplicity of 1, so it would go through all of them. Right? Could you find a y-intercept? Usually we don't have it equal to anything. If you put in 0 for all those x's, what do we get out? Zero plus 0 minus 12. Okay, so it should start down here and end up here. I hit the x-axis at positive 2. Negative 2 and negative 3. Y-axis at negative 12. Okay, I'm going to start down here. I go through all my zeros. So I hit the negative 3, go through, hit negative 2, go through. It looks like that. Okay, so the new piece, which isn't totally new, we've done it before. Looking at this graph, can we tell where this polynomial is greater than 0? Greater than 0 means positive. That's above the axis. It's above the axis here and here. So what would I write? Union. And why did we put parentheses instead of brackets? Did it have an equal to?
No.
No. Equal to is brackets. If not equal to is parentheses. D wants to know where it's less than 0. So less than 0 is where it was below the axis. So how would I describe this section? And then the middle one, we give the x values here to list those in. Is that okay? Let's try another one. X to the fourth minus x cubed minus 6x squared. All right, if I wanted to solve this, we could factor it. What would you factor out? This is x squared minus x minus 6. Okay, what multiplies to -6 and adds to -1? Okay, so what are my solutions? That's 3, that's -2. What about this one? 0, and since it's squared, that would be -2. All right, if I wanted you to graph it, what was our degree? 4. So what's the end behavior? We just found the zeros. So at 3, would it bounce or go through? Through. At -2? And 0. If we did the y-intercept, if we put in 0 for all of our x's, we get 0 minus 0 minus 0, which is just 0. So both ends should be pointing up. We hit our x-axis at 3, -2 and 0. Okay, start up here. We go through the -2, come back and hit 0 where we bounce, come back down, hit the 3 and go through. Then using our graph, we can answer the other questions. Where is x to the fourth minus x cubed minus 6x squared greater than 0? Greater than 0 is above the x-axis. So that's these two pieces. How would I describe this?
Infinity and 50.
Negative infinity to -2, union.
3 to infinity.
Good. D, when is the polynomial less than 0? Now less than means below the axis. Could I just say it's below the axis from -2 to 3? Why not? It hits 0. Do I have an equal to 0? If I said less than or equal to 0, this would be okay. Because I specifically only wanted where it was less than. You would have to go from -2 to 0, union 0 to 3. So you do have to watch those equal to's. All right, I want you guys to try a problem. For yours, I just want you to solve it and draw me a rough sketch of the graph. So we have 3x cubed plus 18 equals 2x squared plus 27x. Bring everything over. 3x cubed minus 2x squared minus 27x plus 18 equals 0. What would we do now? Great. So you put these two in parentheses, you make this plus a negative 27 and then put parentheses around those. You can take out an x squared, 3x minus 2. This one you could take out a negative 9, 3x minus 2. How would you factor x squared minus 9?
X plus 3 and x minus 3.
So we get x to be 2/3, negative 3 and 3. Okay, if we think about our graph, what was our degree? 3. So the end behavior, zeros we just found. All of those had a multiplicity of 1. So that means it would go through all of them. Y-intercept is a little bit different. You can't really think of it from up here. You would have to think of it like from this point or even your factored form. If you put in zeros for all of your x's and you would get 18. So we hit our x-axis at negative 3, positive 2/3, and positive 3. Y-axis at 18. Both, or this starts down, it's going to go through all of them. So it goes through here, it's 18, hits the 2/3, hits this. So something like that. All right, let's try another one. I think our factoring skills might be a little rusty. Worst case scenario, you could do P's and Q's. We're just trying to remember there are some shorter ways that we have found before. How would you do this one? I don't have enough terms for grouping. I don't have a greatest common factor.
Got a formula.
Yeah. Let's see if the easy way works first. And then if not, we'll go into the quadratic formula. X to the 4th would just break into x squared. What multiplies to negative 40 and adds to negative 6? Negative 10, positive 4. Now, do either of those factor nicely? No, but my directions are to solve. At this point, I could set those equal to 0. Square root plus and minus. So I get plus and minus the square root of 10. Over here, square root plus and minus, what's the square root of negative 4?
2i.
What was my degree
4.
in behavior? Zeros we just found. All of those were to the first power, so would it go through or bounce? Y-intercept, if you put in 0 for all of your x's, we get 0 minus 40. Both things should be coming up. Okay, square root of 10. We'll have to use our calculator and approximate it. It's just a little bit more than 3. So a little past 3 and a little past negative. 2i, can we graph that? No. So we don't have to graph the imaginary zeros. We're going to hit here, put our negative 40, come back and hit here. So where is this one greater than 0? Greater than means above.
-8 to plus minus radical 10.
Yeah, this one is the negative radical 10. And this one's the positive radical 10 to infinity. So when is it less than 0?
Negative radical 10 to positive radical 10.
So we don't have to have all nice numbers. Imaginaries, we don't graph, they don't turn into x-intercepts, but we could certainly have radicals or something to deal with. Any questions on that? Final problem. I just want you to solve. What would you do?
Both to the same side of the equation.
Mm-hmm. Then what?
Take no x squared.
Okay, x squared minus 36 is the difference of squares, x plus 6, x minus 6. So we get x to be 0, that was squared, so that means negative 6 and positive 6. There is a Math Excel assignment open, and you guys have about 20 minutes to work on that.